Your fear of looking stupid is the exact reason that is keeping you stuck. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you're willing to look stupid and embarrassed in front of a lot of people, you will get to where you need to be. When I started my first business from my horse shed, I did not realize that I was setting up a business or starting a business. I just knew that I wanted to help as much people as possible with their physical and mental health during COVID, during lockdown. And I also knew that I wanted to be present on social media. I loved social media and I adored it. And I just knew that I wanted to pursue it in some way, shape or form. And that's when I started posting live workouts on Instagram from my horse shed during lockdown. It was so embarrassing. What would people say? What would people think? There's horse shit on her walls. Why is she jumping around like a lunatic in a horse shed giving live workouts? Crazy. But I loved it. And it was helping so much people. And I was doing it every single day because I loved it so much and because of the response I got from people saying that it was helping them so much. Now, if I allowed the fear of judgment or embarrassment stop me from doing that, I wouldn't be where I am today. That business that I ended up setting up after 2 years of doing live workouts for free ended up crossing 6 figures. And I'm not saying that to gloat. I'm saying that I literally started from zero, from a horse shed. I failed business in school. The odds of me owning my own from that was ridiculous. But it did prove to me that embarrassment is the cost of entry. And so when I was pitching to Stephen Bartlett in Bali 2 weeks ago, I knew that he stood by the fact that embarrassment was the cost of entry, and that's what it takes. And I used that as leverage, knowing that it worked before when I did it from my horse shed, when I heard him say it to me all those years ago on the Diary of a CEO, that embarrassment is the cost of entry and that's what gets you to where you want to be. I knew that to be true because I had evidence, because I did that when I showed up embarrassed giving live workouts from my horse shed. Now I just needed to apply it to this situation so I could get in the door of being a podcaster beneath Flight Story. And that's what we did. We showed up embarrassed. I showed up embarrassed. I had oranges on my head in it with a full blown green suit in the middle of a pool with loads of oranges. I stated publicly online that I followed Stephen Bartlett to Bali. Batshit crazy. So embarrassing. I stood in the middle of the shortcut in Canggu, the busiest road in Canggu. So embarrassing. Putting up all these signs with a tiara on my head. That doesn't mean that I wasn't scared. That doesn't mean that I didn't have fear or anxiety or doubt running through my veins. Of course I did. But you have to learn to do it anyway. How do you do this? You bring it back to your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? Why do you want to pursue what you want to pursue? When you start with why, not how am I going to get there? How is this going to happen? What if? No. You need to come back to your why. God has not gifted us all of these skills and talents for ourselves. They are not for you. They are for other people. Sarah Jakes Roberts said in a podcast with Mel Robbins, instead of letting your skills and talents live inside of you, why don't you give them a chance to live outside of you? A light bulb went off in my head. These gifts and skills and talents that I have been given and that I have acquired over the years are not for myself. This is to help as much people as possible come with me and pursue their goals and go after their dreams and defy their odds and not be bound by their environments. And to show them that you can. You don't need money, a network, to know all these people. You just need to know your why and that you can and that you are capable. And the minute you start rewiring your mindset to know that you can and that you are capable and you can do the thing, that's when things change. Now, there is certain things that you can use to help you with rewiring your mindset, and I will get into that. But the key lesson to learn from this is that when you're pursuing something and you are willing to look stupid in front of a lot of people, your why should carry you through all of that. So when Stephen Bartlett asked me on stage 2 weeks ago, why was I willing to look so embarrassed? Doing what I did was so embarrassing. It cost me my sleep. I didn't sleep for weeks on end. I doubted every inch of myself. I had so much fear, anxiety, and everyone else around me was like, you are doing this, because I had said I was doing it. I said, I do not care what it takes. I'm doing this. And this is what I'm doing. But my closest friends would have known how much fear and anxiety I was crippled with, and doubt and lack of sleep. The toll it takes on you to go after your dreams and your goals is the reason why so many people give up, because you need to have an undeniable resilience, perseverance, hard work, belief system, backing yourself and trusting yourself and pushing through that fear and doing it scared. But your why needs to be so strong that that will be the thing that carries you through. Let me explain. My why is to help as much people as possible push past their paper walls by using this platform, this podcast. The orange juice theory is all around peeling back the layers of your orange, applying pressure to get the best part, which is the juice. But you have to apply pressure. It's uncomfortable, it's hard, it's uncertain, it's unfamiliar. You don't know what juice you're going to get. You don't know how much bits there's going to be. It's uncertain. And it's difficult and it's hard, but you can do it. How can I help as much people as possible do that and get as much people as possible to trust in me? If I'm not doing it and I'm not leading from the front, I must lead from the front no matter what the outcome is. If I fail, I still led from the front. I still went and was willing to look stupid and willing to look embarrassed, even if things didn't conform. Now, because Stephen lives by embarrassment as the cost of entry, and because we used so much of his lessons, ideologies, frameworks that he has told us and taught us, it was going to be harder for him to ignore us. Even if things didn't conform and I had failed, I would still be beginning the podcast with my beliefs in embarrassment being the cost of entry and going after the thing no matter what. Because something would have came of it. Even if it didn't conform, something would have came of it. We would have garnered attention. People would have seen that I was willing to be brave. I was willing to look stupid. And that's what I want to teach everyone here. That's what it takes. And so I had to lead from the front. When it's about other people, you have to leave your ego at the door. That's how you can willingly look stupid and embarrassed in front of others, by leaving your ego at the door. It's not about you anymore. It's not about you. Being embarrassed online, being willing to look stupid, fear of judgment, fear of what other people are going to think, fear of what other people are going to say. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about helping other people. Your why is to share your skills, to share your knowledge, to show up scared, to help other people. Why do you want to share these messages? Why do you want to start this business? Why do you want to show up online? If your intentions are moral and they're good and you take aligned action and you're honest in who you are and what you want to do and what you want to achieve, whatever that is. Being embarrassed in front of others or being willing to look stupid isn't about you anymore, and you need to realize that it's not about you, and that your goal is to help other people, and that should be the thing that carries you through the fear. You're always going to feel scared. You're always going to feel fear. That does not mean that you can't do it anyway. The duality can exist. You can feel a tremendous amount of fear, anxiety, doubt, overwhelm, sadness, loneliness, alongside an undeniable belief that you can get to where you want to be, alongside going after the thing, alongside, yes, I can, alongside, I am going to do this. These two corners can exist. And so it doesn't mean that I didn't feel fear, anxiety, overwhelm, fear of judgment, that I was scared. Of course I was. Of course I felt all those things. But I just knew that every single time I showed up embarrassed, every single time I was willing to look stupid, it has paid off. And when you get evidence that being willing to look stupid, being willing to look embarrassed pays off, that's when you are powerful, because you know that success comes off the back of that. You know, being willing to look cringe, success comes off the back of it. It doesn't come overnight. MrBeast spent 10 years showing up on YouTube, looking cringe, being the weirdo. Who's that guy who's so obsessed with YouTube? Look at him now. Sara Blakely started Spanx with $5,000 in saving, and she got so many no's. She was cold calling buyers. She ran into one of the stores, got one of the buyers to come into the changing room with her. She showed her her bum in the Spanx that she was wearing. That was it. The rest is history. You have to be bold. You have to be audacious. You don't ask, you don't get. You have to persevere. The owner of Canva, she pitched to 100 venture capitalists, and they all said no, until she caught a flight to Silicon Valley and one said maybe. And look at her now. Every time you get a no, it's not a reason for you to stop. It's a reason for you to be like, okay, this person said no. What other avenue can I try? Or what's this redirecting me to? A players don't give up at the 100th hurdle. Every time they fail, they know they're getting a step closer to where they need to be. And they just wonder how they can figure it out and how they can do it. They don't stop and question, oh, it's not meant to be. They don't try 100 times and then say, look, it's just not meant to be. They just figure out another way. And they will get to where they need to be because they know that everything is figure outable. Everything. Everything you want in life is figure outable. Anything that you see in life that you aspire to be is not unrealistic if it's already happening. If someone has already done the thing, all of the breadcrumbs are there. Stephen Bartlett left every single breadcrumb to where he got the Diary of a CEO to inside the podcast. The reason we were able to pitch to him and get his attention is because he gave us all the answers on a silver platter. If you study things hard enough and you study the best of the people in your industry to see how you can get to where they are, the breadcrumbs are all there. Chris Williamson said in a podcast with Matthew McConaughey that if you want to get to the top of the mountain, the answer is in the rise. If you want to get to where he is or where Stephen Bartlett is, the answer is in what they did on the way up. And they just started. It's the same with Ben Francis. He always says, just start. Overthinking kills everything. Overthinking kills so much time, and time is money. Should I start this business? Maybe I'll start this one. Do I need this? Do I need that? I need to do another book. I need to write another journal. I need to listen to another podcast. I need to do another master's. I need to do this. I need more information. No. Signal out the noise. You have everything that you need now. Stop making excuses and start actioning. The only way you learn how to drive a car is by getting in the car and driving it. The only way you've learned how to ride a bicycle is by getting on the fucking bicycle and cycling the thing. Yes, you fall off a couple of times, but you get back up and you get back up again and then you get back up again and eventually, ooh, voila, magic. You're riding the bicycle. It's not magic. You've just done enough reps for it to happen, for it to conform. You have evidence to show that by failing every single time and persisting that you actually can get to where you want to be. When you show up in school and you don't get the answer the first time or the second time or the third time or the fourth time, you learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and eventually you get the answer. It's the same with everything in life. The more you do, the better you get. It's not a magic formula. It's not because there's some people who are more talented than others. I argue it's obsession. Yes, there are some people who are very talented at what they do and they're gifted at what they do. But the majority of people who are successful, it's literally down to how many times they have showed up, how much reps they've put in, how many times they have exhausted themselves in the pursuit of their goals to be the best at what they are and be willing to look stupid doing it. That's the only difference. So constantly saying that you need another thing to get to where you need to be, another podcast episode, another book to read, another journaling session, another holiday, another break. What you need to do is you need to take action. What is one thing that you can do after this podcast? One thing that will get you closer to where you need to be. If you don't know the answer to that, I'm going to give them to you here. Practicing gratitude and being generous is so powerful. You have no idea. Lewis Howes always talks about this. Practicing gratitude, being grateful for what you have already, being grateful is so important. I can't emphasize how important gratitude is to get to where you want to be. Being grateful for everything you have and all the abundance that you have in your life is so important. It's a privilege to be able to go after your dreams. A privilege. There are people who would give anything to be in your position to go after their dreams. But because they're in war-torn countries or because they don't have the privileges that you or I have, they're robbed of those opportunities. That should be your fuel to realize, oh, I actually am in a privileged enough position to go after my dreams. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm going to give it all I've got. That should be your fuel. Generosity, doing things for free, helping people for free. Not only does that make you feel fulfilled and it gives you purpose and it makes you feel good, helping other people, it also gets you places where you when I was giving free live workouts every single day for 2 years during lockdown, I wasn't thinking of, I'm going to start a business off the back of this. I'm going to take people's money off the back of this. No. All I was thinking of was, I want to help other people with their mental and physical health. I don't want to do teaching. I knew that for sure. I didn't want to pursue my teaching degree, which I was studying at the time. I loved health and fitness and I leaned into what I loved. And I just thought if I gathered enough experience of practicing giving live workouts every single day in my horse shed during lockdown, that would mean that I would be a really good personal trainer once lockdown was over. So that would mean I would be more ready to take the gym floor and to be really good once I took to the gym floor after lockdown, which never happened because I ended up launching my online business during lockdown, even though I failed business in school. So do you see how that conformed? Now, every single day during lockdown, I would wake up, I would meditate, I would journal every single morning because we had the time, right? I would journal every single morning what I was grateful for, and I would also write down in the present tense where I wanted to be every single morning. I am grateful that I am a successful online coach. I didn't even have my PT cert done. I am grateful that I'm living in Bali. I was living in the back arse of a tiny village in the south of Ireland, doing workouts for my horse shed with no money. But I saw the life that I wanted for myself, and I wrote down how grateful I was for that every day. And I just detached from the outcome completely. And I walked every single morning. I was in routine, and I truly was so grateful for that time, because I was having a hard time in college. I didn't fit in at all in college, and I loved working. I was working all the time. I needed to work to pay rent, and I just did not fit in. There's no other way I can describe that feeling of not fitting in and feeling so lonely. And I was so grateful for lockdown, because it gave me a chance to be myself and not feel judged by other people or not feel like an outsider, because I was on my own and I didn't have to go to college. It was a lovely feeling. And I was grateful for lockdown to give me that space to pursue my passions and to read and to learn through podcasts and to practice gratitude and start journaling and start meditating. I wouldn't have done any of these things only for lockdown. And I know it was very difficult for a lot of people. I know that. I'm very grateful that I channeled all of this type of energy and what I wanted to do into podcasts and the Diary of a CEO and my walks and gratitude and doing my live workouts from my horse shed. But I did not realise that by me giving out free value for over 2 years was building a community and a business. It was the same when it came to Run Coaching, my second business. That didn't start as a business. That started as me feeling lonely as a solo traveller going to Australia. What did I need? I needed human connection. I decided I wanted to set up a run club for people's mental health, physical health, and to show them that they can be runners, that they can do the thing, that it didn't need to be something that was reserved for other people. And so our run club became the place that if you weren't a runner, you were able to come, because you would end up being a runner, because everyone belonged, no matter what pace. And we really meant that, because it wasn't about the running, it was about the connections that were made. And I have made friends through that run club that are my friends for life, and I would be lost without them. And that's when people started asking me for programs, for plans. And then that's how our second business, after doing a year of Run Club for free every single Saturday, I didn't even see it as something that I was giving for free. I just wanted to help other people and to bring people together for connection, because I felt lonely myself, and I thought, how many other people are feeling this way? And that's how we all came together. And a year later, that's when we launched Run Coaching, because people wanted, the demand was there for programs. And now we have a coach in there, Imogen. I'm the head coach, so is Imogen, and we do runs all around the world with our run club, and we get so many people to go from 0 kilometers to marathons and to believe in themselves and back themselves and go after the thing. And I have to give so much of my resilience and my mindset to running, because I do believe that a marathon is a metaphor for life. And without running and without marathons and marathon training, I would not have the mindset that I have today without it. I have built so much resilience and strength and determination and belief in myself through marathon training. There's a lot to be said for it. And that's why I love it so much. And that is where you can start. What would I do for free? Start there. That's your answer. So if you're someone who's listening to this and you don't know where to start for free. Be generous. Ask people how you can help. Another great line that I love that Lewis Howes always says is, what are the chances? What are the chances that I can work for you for free? What are the chances that I can set up this run club? What are the chances that I can have a walking club on a Saturday morning outside your cafe? Is there an entrepreneur that you look up to that you want to be like? Ask them what are the chances of working for them for free. That line that Lewis Howes has taught us of what are the chances is the best line you will ever use. I said the same thing to Stephen Bartlett. What is the chance that I can become a podcaster underneath Flight Story? You have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. You have to be willing to give for free. And if you're not, then you need to ask yourself, well, is this something I really actually am passionate about and I do want to do? Because if you're not willing to do it for free, then are you in the right position? A lot of millionaires or billionaires or people who are extremely successful in what they do are so willing to give out free advice and to help people for free because they just absolutely love it. They love it. If I was to sit in front of a crowd for 5-6 hours to talk about something I loved about business, about helping young entrepreneurs, I will go and I will do that for free because that is something that I absolutely love and adore. That's why I'm willing to sit here and talk for hours on end about helping other people go after their dreams, set up their businesses, do the thing that they want to do the most, follow their passion, follow their dream. Because I love this so much that I'm willing to give away all my advice for free. So if you don't know where to start, this is the action you need to take after this podcast. I am fed up of people listening to podcasts saying that they're so inspiring, blah, 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 and they don't take any action after them. What is the point? Time is money. You need to take action. So if you're listening, this is the action you need to take. You need to lean into the emotion of feeling embarrassed more. Why don't we lean into that more? Get used to being embarrassed. Do things that are embarrassing. Lean into it. Practice it. The more you get good at being embarrassed and looking stupid in front of people, that is the key. And that is the closer you will get to where you want to be. People will laugh at you until you're at the top and then they'll wonder how you got there. Do things scared and be embarrassed. So that's number one. Do one thing today that is embarrassing or practice the emotion of embarrassment. That's on my goals list for the rest of this year, to lean into being embarrassed more. And it's working. So do that. It won't send you wrong. And show us, tag us like what you did embarrassed, send us pictures, tell me what you did that was embarrassing. And what we want to do is we want to actually shine spotlight on people who are doing these things, and we will share it on our page. If you go and do something that's really embarrassing or that's scary or really outside your comfort zone and you have a business and you want more eyes on it, we will share it on our page 100%. Send it to us, and if it's embarrassing enough, we will share it. Secondly, you need to practice gratitude every single day, and you need to be generous. What can you do for free? How can you help someone for free? That can be small acts of kindness. Buying someone's coffee that's standing behind you. Having a conversation with someone and smiling to them. Now more than ever, we need human connection. More than ever. People are craving human connection. Smile at someone. Ask them how they are. Buy someone's coffee. Do some form of an act of kindness or be generous in some way, shape or form. And lastly, start getting used to asking for more. What are the chances? Get used to being embarrassed asking that question. The next time you go to buy something, what are the chances I'd get a discount on this? The next time you want to be on stage somewhere, what are the chances I can get up on stage? What are the chances I can work for you for free? What are the chances of me getting a pay rise? What are the chances of me being in this position this time next year? You don't ask, you don't get. Let us know how you got on, and I will see you all in the next episode. And most importantly, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, as it helps us so much. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.